Uh, and we should be live on Substack here in a second. At least I hope so.
We are now.
Yeah, okay. I figured that we would be pretty quick. I figured that we would be pretty quick. Can you pass me the link?
To the Substack?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I actually uncannily don't actually have it. That's sort of weird. Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Oh, I already have 6 people on. Yeah. Hi, welcome to What Survives the Morning with Wendy, the good doctor, and Brandon, the super gay person. How are you both doing today, by the way?
Fine, I guess.
Oh, okay. Did you have any excitement? Oh, by the way, I want to remind everybody that this broadcast is entirely brought to you not by AI, not generated by AI. Fuck Panagram. Fuck Substack for forcing AI down everyone's throats. It's a bunch of bullshit. We'll talk about that at the end.
I should buy a fake finger and like put it in here just to fool people into thinking I am AI.
That would be funny. So I opened today's bit with the fact that I've waded through a lot of bullshit this year. But we've reached a special vintage of institutional dipshittery in mislabeling a continent, calling it an unfortunate error, and keeping 1,700 HIV clinics completely in the dark. The administration has done this. So, in an AMFAR report that was released during the conference for the PEPFAR delays and cancellations that have already forced 1,700 HIV care sites in Africa to shut down, they mislabeled the map.
Is that something that's able to be shared, or?
You know what? I can actually share I can actually share that. Yes. Let me.
I'm just curious.
I'll actually.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that the government would love to have another absolute genocide. Similar to what we saw in the 80s, except now it affects far more of the community.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So it was a Pink News article. And basically what it was, activists had staged a mock funeral in protest of Trump's HIV funding cuts. So all the cuts that Trump has done to USAID and PEPFAR and all these other organizations have essentially brought down HIV healthcare, especially in Africa, down to nothing. And so that, and then Brandon, I want your thoughts about this. Coupled with, and I didn't actually publish this, but I wanted to talk about it, is the stem cell research has effectively cured an HIV infection.
Oh. But we probably can't use it.
They don't make stem cell research in general.
Well, okay, right. So let's like
There's so much.
Yeah, so the lessening of HIV research as it relates to the administration's perspective is a real fucking problem. Because if we're not funding HIV research, then shit like actually curing people of HIV becomes less and less likely. And so, my whole bit about it was I care that the Bureau of sorry about that, we fucked up, has gotten pretty fluent in apologizing for the packaging while the contents are still the same as they were 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. But there's a nurse in a clinic in Africa who's treating people with HIV that doesn't need your stupid government slide or whatever. She needs the clinic to stay open so she can treat people. And so Brandon, I wanted your thoughts because HIV is a global crisis, is a global issue, but they predominantly put it on queer people for making it happen more often. What does lack of HIV research, how does that make you feel? That's the question.
It kind of brings us back to the 80s and 90s, I guess, where people were afraid to have sex and interact with other people and be stigmatized by the public in general, because now it's back to where probably every gay guy has HIV. Assumed by people that don't know anything.
Yeah, assumption. Where assumption plays that role. I consider it nothing short of miraculous that PrEP is available. It's inexpensive, just as much as doxycycline is available, and it's inexpensive. And if you do your hepatitis vaccines appropriately, you do other vaccines appropriately, you observe proper doxycycline use, and you take Truvada or one of the other PrEP drugs, that pretty well protects you from the body of infection that you could experience, which stops the flow of the disease. Why that wouldn't be globally available to other people completely shocks me.
I don't know. I think maybe they're trying to rid the world of queer people in whatever way they can.
Yeah, one, eradicating queer people. People have been trying to do that for 3,000 years. No, yeah, that's been happening a long fucking time. That's not gonna happen now.
It won't stop them from trying.
Well, to that point, I clearly agree. So I don't know. It's as a person who is now single and in the dating pool, as a queer person, I did the responsible thing. I went to my doctor. I renewed my PrEP prescription. I renewed my Doxy prescription. I got the monkeypox vaccine. I was current on my hepatitis vaccine. All that shit. Because I told my doctor, I'm like, well, I'm probably going to be sexually active again and with unconfirmed partners. She's like, okay. And so, from my perspective, that seemed a natural step. Of course, thankfully, because I've already had a couple of dates with queer people that were straddle walking the day after experiences. I went out with a trans girl one night. This was like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and she came into the bedroom, and I looked down, and I went, "You're gonna put that where?" Oh, I knew I was a size queen. It was not that big of a size queen. So I have a funny bit, by the way, to share at the end about that, and we'll talk about that when we get through today's bit. So on to the next subject, which is Musk has come out and said he's going to buy the midterms again.
In what way did he say this?
So a year ago, he was going to start his own party. He was going to blow it all up. He was going to torch the bridge. All of his like trillionaire tantrum bullshit. And so now again, he said, I got a little too involved in politics. I got carried away. Well, sure he did. Which is why he has since turned around and authorized America PAC to spend $120 million on a new field program across 8 states to combat the Democratic candidates that are running in those states now. So he said he got too involved, but he's still involved. And then on top of that, the New York Times underreported the number. It was not 120 million that he put forward; it was 260 million. So, is MAGA so hurting that now taking Musk's money is okay?
I mean, they don't seem to have that many scruples.
Well,
surprises me.
So Ipsos and Discuss and Gallup are all reporting right now today that the generic point gap, so generically across the board for Democrat candidates that are coming in the midterms, all of them are generically 10 points ahead of their Republican competitors. And so I don't know, does 260 million make up for that point difference? I don't think it does.
I mean, what is the plan for? I don't understand what the plan would be for using it, though. I mean, people that are going to vote Republican are going to fucking vote Republican anyway, no matter what happens. And I would be really impressed to find a Democrat that could be bought into a Republican vote. Or am I just completely misunderstanding the plan?
No, what I think Musk is doing by funding the PAC is those PACs will turn around and push advertising spends to discredit the people on the other side of the equation. The problem is that I don't think they can. I mean, here in Georgia, every time John Ossoff goes on TV or gets in front of a camera and talks to people, they praise him. I mean, he's repeatedly asked, because he's on the Senate Oversight Committee, he's repeatedly asked people, did Donald Trump lose the election in 2020? And they refuse to answer because they're all Trumparian, fuckwads or whatever. And so,
I wonder how effective advertising is in this day and age because of the absolute polarization with the parties. I mean, we don't even exist in the same realm of like media exposure. You know what I mean? So how are they? I don't know. We don't even see the same media and the same information, generally speaking.
so Musk's targets are Alaska, Iowa, Maine, Michigan, Ohio, North Carolina, Georgia, and Texas. So Musk is, he's going to use his money to try to influence those elections. Here's the thing: Troy Jackson, who was the guy that the DNC in Maine put up to replace the rapist guy Plattner, like 2 days after he announced, he was 15 points ahead of Collins. So, I mean, he could be just a complete nobody, have not a thing going for him, and he's already well ahead of an established moderate Republican in that state. That says a lot. That says people are pissed off. That says people are unhappy. I mean, I don't know how else to interpret that. I mean, Brandon, do you think people are unhappy?
Well, a lot of people are, yeah, but there's still people that cling to the Republican Party. I don't think anything would change their minds. They're gonna remain loyal to that party no matter who's in it or what they do. There is that group of people.
So, party loyalty. Why?
For people that I know, family and things like that, it's about the morality, I guess. You know, it's
morality.
The Republican. Oh, sorry. What did you say?
No, I was just agreeing with you. That's where my line of thought on as well.
No, it's they traditionally stand for certain, especially certain issues like abortion. You know,
right?
A lot of them that is maybe the only deciding factor.
Well, it feels like I'm sorry, and please correct me if this analysis is wrong, but it feels like a clutching pearls scenario. Do either of you agree with that position?
Yeah, you mean like?
I get what you're saying. Like,
that's what I feel like. That's what they do. Here's the thing: I'm not clutching pearls about Musk having his opinions. Rich men have had opinions since the invention of the goddamn Porsche. And I want to be honest, Musk can fuck himself with his white power assertions and his opinions. What curdles my fucking milk is the goddamn math. One guy, one signature, and 8 states get a turnout machine that has no cashier, no line cook, no home health aide out there for, or can even counterweight with a goddamn thing but their own 2 feet. That's bullshit. You know? And it's like, it's the fucking weather. It's like Musk had said, I'm going to buy the weather and I'm going to influence it for the next 4 months. And if that's what the learn lesson looks like, the mother help us when he actually starts to study and not just throw money at it.
Yeah, the problem that we run into, and this, I mean, this isn't news to anyone, right? That we run into over and over again is we've got a large segment of society whose entire identity is built off of their religious views. And they believe that they're right, that no one else is, valid in how they choose to live their life or what they believe in. And because it's so much entrenched with their identity, they're going to vote for whoever the fuck is in any way supporting and validating what they believe in. Their egos are so fucking fragile that they can't even entertain the thought that there's other perspectives. And I think it's kind of what Brian was getting at too. And so I'm just kind of curious, like, these people like that are not going to be moved along. They're not going to stuff like what feels psychologically safe to them.
Right.
Because, cognitive dissonance sucks. And they don't understand that's where we have growth.
I mean, I hate to quote Bayard Rustin, but we need in every community a group of troublemakers. We really do. Because I don't know. When I think about that, angelic is a word people skip. So the actual quote is, we need in every community a group of angelic troublemakers. But people hear troublemaker and, yes, on the inconvenience of people. That is a brilliant piece of literature. And so, yeah, people hear troublemaker and nod because trouble is part of the cycle, part of the photographs. The trouble has to be made by people who decided in advance that they would not be what they would not become along the way. A nurse in a clinic, somebody in a courtroom, whatever. And so,
just sitting here being like, yeah, tell that my current situation.
So, did you hear about the North Carolina rep, Erin Pare? I love this one. She came out and said it may be time for a law requiring school employees to wear gender-appropriate professional attire.
What the fuck?
Yeah. After complaints about a transgender music teacher in a county, they bitched about the fact that a transgender music teacher was wearing a dress.
Because they're a woman? So that's...
They don't see it that way, but yes.
What about people like me that run around and freaking... I mean, I'm dressed kind of more traditional femme today, but what about full dykes? They don't have to wear dresses? Good luck with that.
I mean, if you were a teacher, Brandon, would you wear a suit? Or would you wear a dress? Or do you care?
I mean, I wear whatever's comfortable that's not too revealing, I guess. I don't.
I laughed about it, but like a month and a half or 2 months ago, I was in the gas station across the street, and there was a woman behind me, and I was getting a bottle of water because I was walking back from work. I had come off the train, and I was really dehydrated and shit. And so the one behind me was like, I really wish more men would wear skirts. And I turned around and looked at her and said, but I'm not a man. And she said, oh, well, I thought you were. And I said, but I'm not. And so while I appreciate like that, hey, do you care who wears you? Okay, the dress isn't replying in any expeditious fashion, so it must not give a shit. But yeah, why does anyone care?
So do they want to require all
an issue for people, for the same people that don't like religious beliefs questioned.
Yeah, she so in a public post shared to her Facebook page, Pare has argued that school policy should protect children from being exposed to more complex and mature gender identity questions and concepts at too young an age.
Protect children from all the priests that are continuing to rape them. They just arrested another one, and they just arrested a local cop as well for filming minors in bathrooms.
Yeah, all the
He's not
people that are
trans.
all the people who are committing,
You heard about those guys?
all the people who are committing disgusting acts on children are conservatives.
In fact, private police arrested him the next day. This was a KCPD cop.
I mean, so Wake County Public Schools responded by pointing out to existing anti-discrimination policies. And so they said, under board policy, the district prohibits unlawful discrimination while taking into account all requirements in state and federal law, which is basically a clause that says, sit down, shut the fuck up. And the Campaign for Southern Equality called the proposal cruel and very likely unlawful. You can't discriminate like age, race, orientation, whatever. You can't discriminate anybody for anything that is intrinsic to the person. I couldn't, nor would I, discriminate Brandon for being gay any more than I would expect Brandon to discriminate against me for being trans. That's a fair assumption, Brandon.
Yeah. So are they wanting to require all female teachers to wear dresses, or is there like a clothing, like do they have examples of the types of clothing they're allowed to wear, or how is that supposed to work?
Right. Yeah. So
on like North dresses and be over with it.
Yeah, gender ideology. So if it's a person that is wearing a dress inappropriately, that's not allowed. But women can wear pants and tennis shoes and golf shirts all they want, because that's okay. That's not gender confusing in any way, right? In addition to that too, there was an 1989 SCOTUS decision, Waterhouse v. Hopkins, which established that employment decisions based on sex stereotypes violate federal anti-discrimination law. So you can't even do that at the federal level. You could try, but
I'm gonna say they will try. They try.
Yeah,
just like disability is federally protected. Sexual orientation is federally protected.
Yes.
And for some of us, that has certainly not stopped them from still fucking doing it.
No. Yeah, to that point, I clearly agree that sexual stereotypification and decisions based on that are entirely discriminatory, because they are. I mean, if they weren't, then, holy shit. But
what's that kind of living room?
That would really suck. Now, all right. So Brandon, are you a fitness person? Are you a gym rat?
Oh no, I wouldn't say I'm a gym rat. No, but I mean, I've been to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in a long time, but I've been there.
All right. So gym rat. Are you attracted to gym rats, or are you attracted to the dad bod?
I mean, I like a guy that's fit. I don't like the bulky, really muscular, and And it's not necessarily the body, it's like the attitude of the person. Like if it's somebody that lives at the gym, I'm like, oh, that's probably not going to be
Right.
a person that I am attracted to. But physically, I mean, it's nice to look at.
So here's why I asked that question. So Christian influencers, and I'm waiting for Astrid's reaction to this, are opening men-only gyms to prevent infidelity.
Oh, that's not going to prevent it.
Wow.
That might increase it.
I mean, do you have to?
I understand. I don't know that would work. That what would they women's only gyms, but yeah.
So Jeff Hambrecht, who owns a fitness gym in Oklahoma City, says that the gym in its current state is a top location for affairs. And another guy who represents the same view in Denver says he promises training without women having nakedness shoved into men's faces.
Never wants to be naked at the gym. I'm just saying. I know.
So, is it just me? If they're men-only gyms, that's going to drive up the gay crowd, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm totally a Christian. I'm going to come to your gym.
There's going to be a lot more happening in the locker rooms.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, those guys are going to stop going to the bathhouse and they're going to start going to the gym.
There are some female-only gyms. There's one in, I think it's, there's one in Lee Summit, I think, that's called, oh shoot, I can't remember the name of it, but I don't remember.
But yeah, I probably would be interested in any of the women that are coming to a gym in Lee Summit. Sundown towns and soccer moms, but also, yes. If I found one here, I'd be like, yeah, because it would probably be all the same women that are at my pottery studio, and then I'll just convince the ones who just don't understand.
Pottery, like that's not sexual in any way whatsoever.
No idea that literally all the lesbians go to pottery studios. There's like literally no one straight there, and they're no women.
I'm not shocked by that.
Oh, I think it's Blush. I think it's a chain. I think that's what it's called.
Blush.
Pretty sure.
So here's the
kind
thing,
of like
though.
the Dub, our women's sports bar. It's not explicitly a gay bar. In fact, I was chatting with one of the women at the studio the other day about it. She's like, it's actually a gay bar. I'm like, well, I mean, that's not how they advertise themselves, but it's women's sports. So there's probably a crowd that's there. So.
I mean, that feels discriminatory, right? I mean, it's not just me.
Yeah.
Now, do we want to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein bomb?
Oh, what? I don't
think I know what it is. What happened now?
I can't keep track.
What is it now?
Right.
Yeah.
So you probably do. The Department of Justice and the House Oversight Material Release has released material that shows that Jeffrey Epstein in 2013 arranged a marriage between his girlfriend, Dr. Karnia Shuliak, and one of his assistants, who was a woman, by the way, so that she could get a green card. So Epstein arranged a queer marriage so that a girlfriend of his could get a green card. Now, if that doesn't cause these fucking hard right-wing conservative motherfuckers to rise up and go, yeah, we need to release all of the Epstein shit now. I don't know what's going to do it.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, well, I'm not mad at that. But yeah, it should be.
Completely. Yeah. Yeah, completely. I mean, it's okay. Well, fuck. You know, how do we get past that?
I mean, what else do they need? I mean, they could release it with homes. I don't think it'll make any difference at this point. No.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't really get it. So we'll talk about the food thing after, but going into the normal quotary, again, in relation to all of this from a larger topic, do whatever it takes to make your life more worth living. Just don't be mean. Kate Bornstein, 2006. And so here's why I say that. I read the second sentence again. Just don't be mean. Because that's where the whole thing lives. So in Bornstein's case, she isn't handing you permission for indulgence. I mean, do we need permission for indulgence? I don't. Brandon, do you indulge yourself?
Frequently.
Live life deliciously. It's important.
So in Bornstein's case, she's handing you a working rule that with exactly one guardrail, and that's it, which is a far more serious gift than any rule, you know, with 50 or 100 or whatever, because a rule you can actually carry is the only kind that really survives the bad week. You know, whatever keeps you there. The only thing off the table is just outright cruelty. Now, I realize I'm saying that to the doctor, and I know what the doctor does.
You have to have between cruelty and being mean to people who deserve it. You know what I mean? I'm not a cruel person at all.
Right.
Am I a fucking bitch when people deserve it? Oh, yeah. And I'm going to be mean as fuck. Am I going to be cruel? Probably not, because I'm not a cruel person. I'm a very feeling, empathetic person. Which means that by the time I'm getting mean and bitchy to someone, they've really passed someone.
Oh,
I can't even get kind of with them. Or anything. It's just. But I think there's a place for meanness. I think cruelty is uncalled for. Absolutely.
Well, so as a person who was an activist in electronic spaces for many years, you know, I always took the Get Carter approach. So Get Carter was a movie that Michael Caine did way back. And Stallone did a remake of it, but the quintessential tagline from that film was the main character, Carter, who was a fixer and a muscle man or whatever. Like, he'd go to kill people, and his thing was, if I'm knocking at your door, you did something to bring me there.
So,
Yeah, that's different than cruelty. And so,
it is.
people
want to live unbothered, and I'm going to be unbothered. I don't want to have to deal with other people's shit. Don't bring it to me. Don't give me a reason.
Right. So now, thinking about that indulgence and thinking about that care, that then leads me to ask, what are we still calling selfish that is actually just survival? And so for me, rest. Because I don't rest enough. I lay awake at night and worry and shit. I still catch myself apologizing for lying down on a Tuesday like I've been caught committing a goddamn felony. And that reflex was just installed by people who profited off of my exhaustion. And they didn't thank me for it. I mean, not that they would. So now I say it out loud to all of you. I'm tired. I'm allowed to be tired. And the whole goddamn machine can wait an hour while I go lay down in my bed and try to collect myself. it waits. It's always going to wait, and that's sort of the hustle. But I mean, so Brandon, when you think about your indulgence and you think about kindness and you think about yourself, that now answer the question: what do you do that you call selfish, but it's really just you're surviving?
Sometimes it has to do with the news, politics. I can't always focus on, if I do focus on everything that's happening, I will get so bogged down and depressed that it would just kill me eventually. So instead of having a lot of concern and worry for certain issues in the world, I have to kind of cut it out, focus on myself and what's directly in front of me. And that's kind of selfish, I guess. But if I don't do that, if I do let all of that in, I'll just implode or explode. I'm not sure which.
Well, but you're doing that for survival. Why should you? You shouldn't. There's no reason to. You're doing that for yourself. You've created a space. You exist in that space. And what you do in that space to survive is what you're doing to survive. If anybody makes you feel guilty about that, if anybody makes you feel bad about it, it's bullshit.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, some people would look at that and say, well, you need to be more concerned about this issue or that issue. You should be. They don't have that kind of understanding of that. They may not have to deal with that as much.
Right.
Of depression and all that kind of thing,
Yeah, because who wants to deal with that? I sure as hell don't want to deal with it. Why do you, why would anybody else, just, why?
Lack of empathy.
I think empathy. Has a lot to do with it. I really do. It feels like people are not doing that. Oh, wait, remove. Oops. That was a little preview too fast. Everybody ignore that you just saw that because we're going to talk about that in a minute. I had to make sure that worked. So, yeah, we're gonna do that in a minute, just because we need Brandon's advice. We need Brandon's advice.
Oh gosh.
That leads into the next stage of the discussion, which is I quoted Ocean Vuong, as I do very often, where Ocean says the most beautiful part of your body is where it's hidden. Not where it's been, not what was done to it, or what it survived, or what legislature decided this session about it. Where it's going. People say it's not the destination, it's the journey. And this is very true. That line completely undoes the logic of a bad year, because a body headed somewhere isn't a body being argued over. It's a body with an errand, and errands are stubborn. It didn't cost you to take that direction. The ground you're walking on isn't any wronger, isn't any more wrong, wronger, fuck is that, than anyone else. And so, Again, so Brandon, thinking about kindness and indulgence and cruelty and anger and who you're going to direct it at, I extend to both of you what does tomorrow look like in one ordinary choice. And so for me, it was tomorrow I'm going to get up. I'm going to put on a pair of sandals that don't hurt. I'm going to walk to the corner and back before the heat stacks up. And that's it. No arc, no triumph, just a 50-plus-year-old woman walking one distance and back. That's literally all I anticipate accomplishing tomorrow. I stopped being embarrassed about how small it looks from the outside, because any act that you commit is just as defiant as any other act you commit, no matter the size. So, doctor, what does tomorrow look like for you?
It's going to be more of a continued focus on caring for myself and doing some healing from a major nervous system dysregulation I've been through this week. I'm going to, if I can, go do clinic defense. I may not be able to, though, because I'm pretty fragile just from an anxiety perspective right now. But I think on more of a level, I'm going to, a friend of mine, okay, so kind of what Brandon was saying, I do not follow the news anymore for the same reasons. I can't. There's enough suffering in my own community. Even just driving home the other day, in a 2-block distance, there was a big response, emergency response, because there was someone on a roof that I saw, not a very high roof, but still. And then another one up the street, and then I drove by the local shelter and saw a young man on the sidewalk. This is a daily view for those of us who live in my community. And so it hurts me. One of my friends who's very, very empathetic, she's an empath, says all you can do is send them love and light, love and light. And so for me, when I encounter that tomorrow, for the next week, because this is continual daily, I'm going to send out love and light, and try and bring it to my heart. And also continue to stay away from the news and just guard my heart and focus on what I can influence in my local sphere of influence. I think is really important. What can we actually do locally? So focusing on that, guarding my heart, and sending, believe it or not, love and light. I can do that too.
I find that completely amazing, and I find that completely embracing. And you and I have had conversations over the last number of days that my belief that you need to do that is very true. So yes, you should. I agree 100%. Brandon?
Yeah, kind of taking a break tomorrow from writing and reading and everything, just resting.
I think resting is probably a good idea. So do you want to tear up my pantry meal for the day? My pantry meal is pretty good, by the way.
What do you make it?
So today's pantry meal is skillet squash and lemon pasta.
Yummy.
Notice, Brandon, that it has no beans in it.
It's okay. Are you using a protein pasta?
So invariably what I do, I always threaten to input a protein, either a bacon or cubed chicken or shredded chicken. And I would probably put shredded chicken in this.
You can buy like protein pasta. It's got pea protein.
Right. So, but 12 ounces of short pasta, 2 medium summer squash, 4 cloves of garlic, olive oil, 1 lemon, and half a cup of breadcrumbs. And then grated Parmesan cheese over the top.
It's very delicious.
Yeah, and so that basically feeds 3 people for $10 in just under 15 minutes of preparation.
I'll take it.
I
Okay.
think I'm having vegetarian egg foo young. I don't know. Elaine is picking at it.
Well, so like that's the thing. I mean, I'm not opposed to using gluten-free pasta or veggie pasta or.
Oh, it's not even gluten-free pasta though. It can be a wheat-based. It is to add pea protein to it, and so then it's got a protein boost. Yeah.
I need to look at that. I really need to look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty much all I buy now. Even like I'm not supposed to eat wheat, but I do. Even Kraft Dinner has a protein mac and cheese, and it's just got the pea protein added. That's the only difference.
I use black bean pasta, and I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is good.
All right, so now we get to participate.
Yeah.
We're gonna participate in comedy, and then everybody that's in the chat is gonna leave. But I think it's fucking funny. All right, so I've been on the dating market for a number of months now. That's not been any secret. Probably one of the reasons that I have been inconsistent with live sessions because I've been dealing with the depression of not being in a relationship and not, having that stability. And so that means that, yes, as a queer person, I've engaged in app usage. Well, yes, as a queer person, when you want to meet trans people, there's only like 2 or 3 places you can go. You can go to FetLife. No, Astrid, I am not giving you a FetLife profile. Not by a long shot. Of course,
I haven't been on FetLife in years.
Look, my patterns, you'd probably find it anyway, but also one of the exclusive places to meet queer people, specifically trans people, is on Grindr. So, Brandon, I want you to explain to me why people do the shit that I'm about to show you. Okay? So, there you go. Why the fuck does that happen?
Feeding their ego.
I mean, that's not any different than what happens on straight sites.
Really?
Yeah.
Because on Grindr, I get more penis pics on Grindr than ever I get anywhere else.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I was going to use one of my throwaway Gmail accounts to set up a Twitter account so that I could post. Some guy sent this to me on Grindr. Ha ha ha! Can somebody identify this person, please?
Hey, do you have a profile pic?
Do what?
Do you have a profile pic?
Do I?
No, for this guy, or just.
Oh, no, but here was the thing. He sent me 5 penis pics. So get this. Get this. So there were 5 pics, and then the first thing he said have you ever seen one this big? Here's the thing. Okay? Just going to tell you. I think I'm a pretty good judge of size. I think I'm a pretty good judge of dimensions. Okay? 5 inches maybe.
Cishet women deal with that all the time on dating apps.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So you are being subjected to what women on apps all over the place are being subjected to, unfortunately.
But it's like he thinks I can't tell how big something is or not. It's gross, right? Is it? I mean,
I
Brandon.
don't know, maybe you and Brandon can look at the pictures together later and judge. I have zero interest in them.
Right. So,
Well, at least on Grindr, you do have that little. But I mean, so I've heard that you have this little box where you can check whether or not you want to receive NSFW pictures or not.
oh, I have that checked, and they still do it.
Yeah. Well,
And they still. I'm just okay.
that's just
No, I don't.
cause to block them, I guess.
As you will note, I mean, he said that, and I was like, "Oh, get this." Here's the other thing that happens to me on Grindr. All right, so I'm a trans woman. I am over 50. So I would love either of your opinions about this. So here's what happens. I get like the 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28-year-old baby trans kids who want a mommy. Now,
So we expect that.
half the time it's my parents kicked me out. I don't have a parent. I need to stay in. And like, okay, if you need a stand-in parent, I will chat with you and I will give you guidance. I will tell you how to get wherever it is that you're going. That's fine. But the other half the time is I want a mommy because I want you to tie me up.
Yeah. I want to tell you. It's a thing. I have it's a thing. I have several women that kind of circle around me with very similar requests. I would rather just like to be the elder lesbian that is like the wise sage, which I am not wise or a sage, but I
Yes.
don't want to be anyone else's woman.
Yes. I want to be the sage trans person who helps people get from point A to point B while they're on their journey or whatever. That is me. That is the person that, yes, I completely
They all
find
want
that.
to be tied in this fate. I'm like, no. I generally love women too much to do that, even if they're
Right.
enjoying it. So that's a hard one for me. But
So yeah, I just told the kid, and so like that kid, he was like 26. I was like, "Go away, kid, you bother me."
That's slow because I've had yeah, actually young okay. Two things that happened recently. One, a young man come up to me and say, what did he say? Excuse me, ma'am. I just want to let you know that I think you're really beautiful. And I was like, oh. Then he finishes it with, for a woman your age. So there was that. And
Yeah.
then the other one was one of the other lesbians at the play studio was talking about how a local business does a sapphic flirting night, and I'm like, oh, it would be fun. And she made it. It was so awkward. She was trying not to hurt my feelings. She's like, there's women of all ages there too. Higgly, stop. Stop. I know I'm getting old. I'm not
Right.
trying to believe me. If you're like 30 and 40, I want nothing to do with you anyway. So, because you're all so stupid.
I don't need you to remind me how old I am.
Another really cute one that I kind of had my eyes on for a while is like, I just wanted to tell you. She's like, did you just get your hair done? I was like, yeah, I did. Thank you for noticing. She's like, I'm just glowing. It's good. Your face is glowing now. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's what I'm saying, though, right? It's like, is that worse than having the ones that are like, yeah, you're old? That's all.
Yeah.
You're old, but we'll still accept you in our space.
Yes. Well, very recently, this is about 3 weeks ago, I went to a 50+ women loving women singles group. And I'm trans, so, I walk into that kind of situation and I think, okay, so I expect that this will not go well.
There might be some turfy ones.
Yeah, there might be some turfy people or whatever. And so I sat down and I was quiet, and a girl who was sitting next to me like engaged me, and I have now befriended this person. But I told her, I was like, you know, I walked into the meeting and I really expected there to be like a handful of turfy people or whatever. And she's like, oh, there are. They won't say it to your face, but there definitely are turfy people in that space. And I said, well, you know, I'm not trying to interlope, but I'm a queer woman, queer trans woman, and I will date other queer women, trans or other. And so, you know, I spent like a week talking with her and kind of sort of, and then it was like, oh, okay, this can work. This space can be positive. And so, you know, from my perspective, I was like, okay, but that still doesn't make the social stress of dealing with that any less, you know, viable. From my perspective, it just doesn't. You know, because it's like, well, okay, I did this, but am I going to do it again? And so I told her, I'm like, I don't know that I'm going to come to the next meeting. And she's like, oh, no. Not only are you coming to the next meeting, but I will get you invited to the meal that happens after, which you didn't get invited to the first time. And then I'm going to sit next to you and I'm going to teach these people that, yes, you're completely valid and you're not a threat to anyone or whatever. And so it's like, plus two, I mean, full transparency, I have very much bottom energy. I'm not sure how I would threaten somebody in that situation.
Right. I'm not very angry, Wendy. Well, you know what? Your intellect is somewhat threatening to me. You're definitely smarter than I am. And that's a weird thing. I don't run into a lot of people that are more intelligent than I am. And no.
So it's shocking to you that you say that, because there was somebody that recently said that to me. I was interviewing a person to be my roommate, because that's one of the things I'm going through. And so I interviewed this guy, this trans guy. And so he told me, I want my trans brother to interview you and meet you in person. I went, oh, okay, sure. And so, you know, we did that and we sat down, and like after an hour of talking with this dude, he comes out and he's like, I have to tell you, I think you're smarter than me. And I think you know way more than I do. And I have a doctorate from a seminary. And I said, oh, well, that suggests to me that you were more intelligent than I am. The thing that, and I want to be very clear about this, the thing that I have that other people see is like makes me smarter. No, it's that I'm able to retain knowledge. Comprehending that knowledge, different story. Ability to retain it, oh yeah. I'm like a fucking
You are an intellectual. You are an intellectual. And you're an incredibly well-read person. So there's nothing wrong with that.
No. But I told him, I was like, I'm pretty sure you're probably more intelligent than I am. I might have more knowledge than you. So I told him, he was like, well, how do you work that out? And I'm like, D&D, your intelligence score is an 18, but my wisdom score is probably an 18. You just have to sort of factor that in. And so he's like, oh, I never looked at it that way. That's fucking brilliant. I'm going to use that now.
Ways of looking at it, like I've always shared with people, that I just have a really quick CPU. That's all it is. Pattern recognition. I recognize things and I process very quickly. Do I remember anything? Nope, I don't. And my range of interest is pretty narrow. So I know a lot about a few things that most people don't care about, but I can probably say something very fast. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of that point, I would agree. Of that point, I would agree. So, well, that's all I had for today. I was going to go on ahead and close because we hit just right about an hour. So, do you have anything in closing, Astrid? If not, you can gracefully dip out.
Hang in there, y'all. It's gonna get done. It's gotta. And that is
Thank you, Astrid. Always. Brandon.
I can't really think of anything. Well, I'm gonna do a live with someone, writer from Substack, that he's never done a live before, but he's fairly new, queer gay man, writes fiction.
Right.
I'm gonna do a live with him next week, so I'm excited for that.
Are you still doing weekly, multi-weekly sessions?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, every Tuesday I do one with Sturge, and I usually do a baking or cooking one once a week, and usually try to do one, like an interview with at least one other person once a week.
Right.
And then on Sunday nights, a lot of times I'll do a Mad Libs, just a fun little thing.
So, your Mad Libs ones are really fun to listen to.
Yeah, people seem to like them. I have to remember to come up with it beforehand, because I don't usually use the ones out of the written ones, printed ones out of the book. I come up with my own.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, thank you. Back next Monday.
When it was on Monday?
Yeah, on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, that should be fine.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you, Brandon, as always.
See ya.
Yep. So in closing, I want to tell all of you, and I want you to listen. You got through a morning that had all kinds of fucked up shit happen in it. And you're still standing in your own kitchen with your own feet on the floor. Which that's the whole fucking game. The loud world wants you exhausted, because exhausted people don't show up to rooms with folding chairs. Well, that's the only way we get out of this. So I tell you, eat something green, butterfly tap your collarbones, but be inconvenient. Outside the blackberries are fermenting on the cane, and the light is leaving 4 minutes earlier at night. And not one bit of it requires your approval or your despair to proceed. So I tell all of you to take the day. It's yours. You should just take it. And with that, I will say, thank you all.